Right, hello and welcome. You're watching News 9 Live. My name is Pankaj Mishra. Well, the latest we are getting to know is that government has called a 5-day special session of the parliament from September 18th to September 22nd. And this special 5-day session of parliament will have 5 sittings, and reports indicate it may likely take the One Nation, One Election bill. Key amendments are needed to conduct simultaneous polls. That is the procedure. That's how it happens. I'm joined by my colleague Brijesh Pandey here. Brijesh, how do you see it? I mean, does it come as a surprise to you? A session in between and then some key bills?
Well, I think, the second Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi announced that there's going to be a special session from 18th to 22nd.
Right. Around this
it created a flutter about, and everybody went on a guessing overdrive as to what exactly could be the reason for the government to go for this.
Right.
And now what we have been given to understand by our sources is that a much awaited electoral reform, or something which, the Prime Minister has articulated several times, that the fact that in India we have one Lok Sabha poll, and after that, we have assembly elections in various states at various different times, which hinders the development, which hinders the developmental process of those states. And he has also said that, that this is one situation which should be done away with. There should be one nation, one poll, Lok Sabha, Vidhan Sabha, and all the polls should be held at one go, which will save country a lot of precious time, money, and the freezing of taking any administrative action once the election is announced till the result is out. All those can be done away with. So I think, this is what we have been given to understand is likely to take place in this special session of Parliament. Of course, what the other thing which we are hearing is that the Parliament will also migrate from old Parliament to the new Parliament. So we will also be witnessing the new Parliament in all splendid glory. But if this comes, it is going to be a massive, news as far as elections is concerned. And imagine this is coming at a time when right now in Mumbai you have 28 parties under the NDA bloc is meeting to deliberate upon how to take how to fight election unitedly against the Bharatiya Janata Party.
All right, Brijesh, aptly put there, comes at a time when obviously the opposition has joined hands and obviously is in a huddle in Mumbai. Tehseen Poonawalla also joins us. Tehseen, always a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much for coming to the show this evening. Well, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Mizoram, Telangana, these are the states that go to polls 2023. 2024, we have Lok Sabha polls, Haryana, Maharashtra, Jharkhand. And now suddenly we have in the month of September a special session, likelihood of a one nation, one poll. How do you see that?
Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm here in Mumbai today, and it clearly shows that the NDA, the present union government, is rattled. Therefore, this special session of Parliament. Imagine the entire Parliament session, the Honourable Prime Minister, except for one, they did not even attend Parliament, and now he wants a special session. Why? If rumors of one nation, one poll are true, that means they will postpone elections of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Telangana and Manipur, all the elections which the BJP is going to lose. What else can it be? What else can it be? And is this democracy? Is this democracy that when you don't win an election, you topple governments? Now when you can't win an election, you postpone elections? I just want to understand how is this acceptable in any democratic nation? How is this acceptable? You've locked down the entire Delhi from 8 to 10 to celebrate the mother of democracy. You locked down a city. Arbitrarily, the government's locked it down because world leaders are coming. Shut down private businesses. Now, because you're not going to win Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Telangana and Manipur, you're planning to postpone elections. Is this fair?
Right. Well, Tehseen, stay with us. Brijesh, clearly, as right from, as you mentioned, from Prahlad Joshi mentioning this to now, the way this whole revelation has dawned upon has many aspects to it. And secondly, if you look at it, then the factors that might not be favorable to the BJP in several states which are poll bound as of now, as Tehseen was putting in, do you believe that this stroke of a move from the constitution would reap the party the dividends, BJP?
Well, I think, one of the key articulation in the mind of the BJP is that, given the popularity of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the fact that, that he has been able to lead the BJP to an absolute majority, first in 2014 and then in 2019, where the margin was even bigger, they feel that if the elections are held at one go, chances of them winning the other states also increases exponentially. I'm just talking about what is the thinking in the BJP camp.
Right.
So they feel that, the election is held like one nation, one poll is held. It will help them electorally in kind of doing away with all the minor nigglings and, the electoral discomfort which is there in various states, because they feel that, which we have also seen, in Lok Sabha elections as well as in Assembly, that whenever it is Lok Sabha election, the vote for Prime Minister Narendra Modi is huge. I mean, the case in point is Delhi, where, in Assembly election, Aam Aadmi Party beats BJP hollow. But when it comes to Lok Sabha, it's 7-0. So, I mean, this dichotomy is something which the BJP believes they will be able to, to score better in most of these Assembly elections.
So, absolutely, Brijesh. And so basically lining up the elections closer to the general elections where the, as far as the sentiments are concerned, favor the BJP more. Suresh Kochitil also joins us on the broadcast. Welcome to the show and good evening, sir. Well, your take on the probability of one nation, one poll, the bill likely to come up in the special session in September this year?
Well, I think it's something that has been done a long time back, because one, of course, leave out the political aspect of it, the cost part of it.
Yes.
The cost of the machinery, running the entire election machinery, the cost of law and order forces being moved around the country, having the elections within 6 months of each other from assembly elections in 6 states, and then again having it as a Lok Sabha election. That is going to be a huge cost saving, and I think that is something that the government will tom-tom about. I was just hearing Tehseen saying this is murder of democracy and BJP is not going to win. I think he is contradicting himself. He's saying that the BJP is not going to win, and then he calls it the murder of democracy. If somebody has a doubt, they can just go to the vote and challenge it. And election commission has always held that there should be simultaneous polls, and I'm all for it, because such a huge country like ours, with a voting population of around 80 to 85 crores, definitely we need to ensure that we have the right kind of machinery in place. Have it on a 6 or 7 days in a month and finish it off. Otherwise, this is like one big festival. The elections in India are a festival, and people take it that way. And this is one reason why we can actually take care of the cost and ensure that we stay that way. Of course, BJP is going to gain electorally. That's very clear, because when you put an EVMs next to each other in a Lok Sabha election, which is essentially a presidential type of election, Prime Minister Modi will score. And that is why you see when Telangana elections happened in 2018, it was supposed to happen in 2019. But Chief Minister KCR at kind of suddenly panicked and preponed the election by about something like 6 months. Why did he do it? He was asked, why did he do it? He said, no, I don't want to have it with the Lok Sabha elections. He was very candid about it. And of course, his party won. But when it came to the Lok Sabha elections, we saw that BJP in a state like Telangana, where it doesn't have much representation, won 4 Lok Sabha seats.
Right.
Now, if you multiply that with, say, 6 to 7 assembly seats, you're talking of something in the range of 30 to 32 seats in the assembly. Of course, BJP will not win that many. But what you're seeing essentially is that Prime Minister Modi is projected as one face of BJP, and there is no face on the other side. And that is what BJP is banking on. I think that's what the presidential style of election. And if this goes as such, people will be confused in a sense, and they will essentially think, I'm voting for Modi here, I'm voting for Modi there. And that is what BJP is banking on big time. Of course, they will come up with a concept that Election Commission had asked for it. If you have a problem, go to the Supreme Court or go to the High Court and challenge it.
Right. Mr. Kochitil, stay with us. Tehseen, obviously, the economic aspect of it, what Mr. Kochitil is, mentioning, rising cost of holding elections, saving resources, ruling party can focus on the governance, continuity in policies. So, anything wrong that what meets to eye?
Listen, let's be honest here. The BJP is not winning Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Telangana, Mizoram, and we know that Rajasthan now, it's absolutely in doldrums. At a point, BJP was winning Rajasthan. At this moment, the latest opinion polls, I beg your pardon, show the Congress is in the driving seat. In fact, they're confident of crossing a record of 126 seats. That's how confident the Congress is, and the BJP is in complete doldrums. So what you do, you just postpone elections. I Forget any amount of justification. All dictators give justifications. How is this democracy? I'm just asking you a simple question. You know the BJP is not winning Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Telangana. Suresh ji on your show admits, yeah, because of Modi ji's face. Is that justified in democracy because Modi ji thinks it's a masterstroke, his face will be there, so we'll postpone elections? How is this right? As so far as moving Supreme Court, I'm telling you on this show and market, I will move Supreme Court on this. It's not accepted. And I'm speaking to the top Congress leadership, they will have to take to the streets. Or opposition will have to come up with something else because this is dictatorship. You cannot postpone an election because you're not winning. If you need one nation, one election, let it be debated in parliament. Do it from 2024 after the general elections are over. How can you postpone existing elections that are supposed to take place?
Right.
How is this acceptable in any civilized democracy?
Brijesh,
Just the answer to that.
Absolutely. Tehseen's point here is also, politically loaded, definitely. As I said, what meets to eye, there is something more to it here. So, in your opinion, obviously, there are two sides to it, resources, money-wise, allocation of, safety measures and everything. That's one aspect. The second one is also equally, I would say.
Well, I think, elections are very close, are around the corner. And, the fact is that, cost effective and all is very subjective, I mean, if you want a cost effective, then why hold elections in 5 years? Do it in 20 years. It'll be much more cost effective. So cost effective or like, that you have to deploy forces around the country to hold elections and all. I mean, I honestly speaking, I personally don't buy this argument. Right. This is what because the thinking in the BJP camp is that if you go for one nation, one poll, I mean, the official line, of course, is that, it saves a lot of time, it saves administrative headache. The CEC has also agreed to it that yes, if you hold elections simultaneously,
he has mentioned
they can do it. So basically, resource-wise, he has indicated that yes, they are ready to hold simultaneous elections, and we are absolutely all right with it, which is very, very crucial to have the CEC on the board. But I feel, the real reason why you would want to do it is as Mr. Suresh himself is saying that you have two EVMs, so if you are voting for Modi in Lok Sabha, chances are that that there could be a vast sum who might end up voting for the BJP in the Vidhan Sabha, whereas in a normal run, of course, that might not have happened. So I mean, the concerns and apprehensions of opposition parties are also very valid, and I think if this comes, I am 100% sure that it will be challenged not only by Tehseen and Congress. I think it's going to be challenged by the entire opposition. It will definitely. It will. I don't see it getting unchallenged. That's for sure.
Tehseen, quick one, and then I go to Mr. Kochatil.
After this show, in the break, I'm going to speak to Mr. Kapil Sibal ji. I will have a word with him. We're going to start preparing the draft because if these guys are going to do this on the 18th, we'll have to move Supreme Court right away. So I'll have a word with Mr. Kapil Sibal. This is completely unconstitutional. Right now in Gabon, there's a coup taking place because out there the president would just keep winning elections, and every time he wouldn't win, he would postpone elections. That's what happens in other countries. Listen, we are a great thriving democracy, but it cannot be that if the BJP is not winning, you postpone elections. That has never happened in our history. This is not democracy, and this is extremely scary, and no amount of justification. Suresh ji just let the cat out of the bag. He's saying, look, because the BJP is not winning, they're putting Modi's face on the other EVM. That's not how democracy works. Democracy is win and lose. You cannot justify it under the garb of a masterstroke. That's wrong. It's wrong morally, constitutionally, legally. It's wrong on every front.
Right. Mr. Kochatil, before we go to Mumbai, where both Tehseen and my colleague Kiran Tare is also standing by, I want you, Mr. Kochatil, to quickly weigh in on the points that Tehseen has made, and especially from the democratic polity point of view and economics aside. How do you see it?
Well, I think Tehseen kept on saying that the BJP is not going to win, not going to win, not going to win. Okay, let's forget that. He says government is postponing elections. Now, as per the constitution, you can't go beyond a point. You have to constitute the next assembly within a certain time frame. It has to be done. That cannot be amended in the constitution. So elections are going to be held. It is just that it is not going to be held in the time frame it was supposed to be held earlier. It's as simple as that. The election commission is supposed to notify the elections in October. So that means the elections would have been held in December. It will still happen. What will happen is that possibly, if you look at the school holidays and everything put together, we will have an election. Possibly the Lok Sabha election might be preponed. And that is exactly what is going to happen, because when the Lok Sabha elections get preponed, obviously what will happen is the BJP will definitely gain there. And that is what BJP is looking at, isn't it? Why should we be envy the BJP for that? They are being smart enough to ensure that there's one nation, one poll. And even if you go to the Supreme Court, will the Supreme Court tell the Lok Sabha not to hold a sitting? I mean, I fail to understand it. No Supreme Court, no judge, no High Court judge will stop a constitutional process. When a law is being framed, they cannot tell the Supreme Court cannot tell the Lok Sabha, don't hold your sitting, don't pass the bill. No, you cannot. Let the bill get passed. Then you go challenge it. You cannot challenge it before it becomes a bill. Right now, it is only a concept. There is not even the Lok Sabha's session is not even being convened as such. So where are you what are you trying to bark up the wrong tree, actually?
Thank you. Tehseen, stay with us. Okay, please go ahead very quickly.
I never said I will move Supreme Court to stop this session. Of course, I have a little bit of common sense. I don't come from the Deen Dayal Upadhyay WhatsApp University, which the BJP propagates, that a Supreme Court can stop a special session. I said in case the bill is passed between 18th to 22nd, we'll have to challenge that bill immediately to stop the elections on the bill being passed in the president's accent. I say this is the problem with the BJP. You say one thing, they'll remove another thing, and they'll act as if they are the repository of all wisdom. I never said that. Please check what I said.
Right. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Stay with us. Kiran Thare is there where all the action is as of now. Mr. Kochital, we will come back to you. Kiran, I mean, it looks like the decision to hold a special session in the parliament has come at a time where, जैसा कहते हैं कि लोहा अभी गर्म है, मार दो हथौड़ा. किस तरह के strategic changes हो सकते हैं अभी once this particular news has broken on this special session of the parliament? And secondly, yes, what is the atmosphere there? कैसा चल रहा है वहाँ मुंबई में अभी?
See, today till 6 o'clock, Mumbai was the center of attraction for the entire political circles.
Right.
But after 6 o'clock, since the news has been broken out that the parliament session is going to be held, and probably the talk of one nation, one election, the mood in Mumbai also has been completely changed. I have talked to one senior person from the BJP, and he is saying that yes, of course, the elections in the 4 states will be definitely postponed, and Lok Sabha elections will be preponed. But it's not going to take place in December. It might take place in end of February or beginning of March. That is the plan of the BJP. So in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Telangana, Mizoram, these 5 states, plus Lok Sabha, plus Maharashtra, plus Haryana, and plus if the Jharkhand government agrees, then all these elections will be held together. These are the simultaneous elections. That is the plan it's all about.
Right.
But there is a rider. They can win all the seats, all the states they can assume, but there is a problem in Maharashtra itself, because in Maharashtra earlier experience they have seen that when there was a simultaneous election, they win the Lok Sabha election, but they had lost the assembly election. So is BJP willing to take that much risk? Is BJP willing to play that gamble again? That is the moot question here now.
Right. Kiran, stay with us. Brijesh, I will once again pick your mind on this. With this single move, has the BJP, has the government taken the wind out of the sails of the opposition?
I will not say that they've taken the wind out of the sails of the opposition, because if you remember, both Mamata Banerjee and Nitish Kumar, they have been saying very openly that the government is indeed planning to hold elections early in the month of December, give or take couple of months. I think what it will do is that it will definitely speed up the entire process of the India bloc, the meeting which is taking place, because now they know for sure that they don't have much of time left, to strategize. The time to strategize is gone. Now the time for action has come. So I think it will definitely expedite the entire process of whether you want to elect the convener, whether you want to who all is going to be your face, what is your strategy in taking on Modi, what is going to be your slogans, and so on and so forth. I think decision has to be expedited now if they really want to take BJP on.
Right. Mr. Kochital, this evening we saw Rahul Gandhi also training his guns on Gautam Adani, and I believe that he picked it up from where he had left before his suspension from the parliament, and we heard him questioning the alleged reports that have come out in newspapers about the funding of their own shares. How do you see this, especially when the talks are rife that time and again these corruption taint thing is also not very separate as far as BJP is concerned?
Well, when Rahul Gandhi does it with regularity, and you know what the court said last time, as a responsible political leader, you should know what you're speaking. And I think Rahul Gandhi should be aware of that. He pretty well knows that, you know, he himself is out on a bail on a cheating case under Section 420. So I think he's left best not to pontificate about all these things. Let him talk about issues. The only issue that we are on hand is we have Modi on one side, and we have an entire phalanx of opposition leaders on the other side. Now, what are you going to do? Because the electorate is going to ask one simple question. Who is your prime minister? If you can't define who your prime minister is, then how are we going to vote? Whom are we going to vote for? Are we going to vote for Mamata Banerjee, who will serve for 6 months, and then we will have Nitish Kumar serving for 6 months? Is this how this country is going to be run? We already have differences of opinion. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has made it very clear that he has nothing to do with alliance. Because it is Sitaram Yechury's deal that is being done at the center, and Kerala unit is dead opposed to the entire alliance called India. There we have, Arvind Kejriwal saying that he will contest from everywhere, and he will also not allow Congress to contest from Delhi. So see, in an alliance, you should bring a vote transfer. In which state can this happen? Bengal, Bihar, and Maharashtra. 3 states where they already are in alliance. But in Bengal, Mamata Banerjee says, don't bring the CPM. Gone. Alliance is out. Then they have Bihar left where they're already in alliance. Then they're already in alliance in Maharashtra. Do you think Mamata Banerjee can bring 15 votes in a place like Karnataka?
That
no.
will
you
be,
should, when you have an alliance, you should bring the votes to the other parties. That is where an alliance succeeds. Not by just having a meeting in a 5-star hotel.
Well, you know, as anyone would guess here, Mr. Kochadil, that obviously the first step is being taken. Let's give them the time. Let's see how the cookie crumbles. Meanwhile, S. Balakrishnan has joined us from Mumbai once again from Free Press Journal. Thank you so much, Mr. Balakrishnan, for speaking to us. Yes, your city is hosting one of the most crucial political meetings, if I can say, you know, in the recent times. But another development has also happened. How do you see you know, the likelihood of introduction of the one nation, one poll, maybe expediting or changing the course of this meeting? How do you see that?
See, what the decision of the government to prepone the election and this one nation, one vote and all that shows a level of panic in the ruling party camp. And this will actually end up helping the India bloc, which is meeting here in Mumbai, and it will give a sense of urgency to the meeting of the opposition. The main thrust of the opposition need is to ensure the consolidation of anti-BJP votes. And if this can be achieved in the election, whether in the pre-poll mode or in the scheduled mode kind of thing, this is what is worrying the BJP big time. Because the BJP has won basically on the basis of the division of anti-BJP votes. And right now, the mood of the nation, I would like to believe, there is a strong anti-incumbency mood which is prevailing in the country, not only in states which are controlled by the BJP, but in other states as well. And this is what exactly which the India Alliance is planning to encash upon. And I'm certain that today's development of a special parliament session, all that will add a sharp sense of urgency to the meeting which is going to take place tomorrow. Tonight there is going to be informal discussions over dinner, but tomorrow's meeting will definitely assume a sense of urgency, and this will actually end up helping the opposition more than anything else.
Right. Brijesh, before I go to Kiran standing by in Mumbai, my one question, you know, when I hear all these gentlemen, when I see Kiran also reporting live from Mumbai and the sentiments that he picks up also, one question that comes to everyone's mind is, in the run-up to the elections, will this coalition endure, or will, again, you know, hinting at the personal ambitions, क्या ममता बनर्जी सरकार बनाएगी, प्रधानमंत्री रहेगी, कब तक रहेगी, कि इस तरह के सवालों का आना जाना, what does it indicate?
See, I mean, any government would like to foster these seed of doubt in about any coalition, and it is also a given fact that coalitions have not been very successful. I mean, this kind of coalition where you don't have a one party as a pivotal around which the entire coalition navigates. This time, the situation is different because you're fighting against a person who has led BJP to two of its most spectacular victory of their existence. And in the third term also there seems to be not much of that much of a challenge. Then you see the role of ED and the CBI, because most of the regional satraps, they or their very close ones are under the ED radar or have been arrested by them. So there are various factors which I think will prevail over personal ambitions, and what happens once they win is something which I'm not able to wager a bet. But I think they will definitely try to fight this particular election unitedly. I think one of the good decisions so far which has been taken was by Rahul Gandhi. When he 3-4 times said that I'm willing to make sacrifice, the Congress is willing to make sacrifice, is that he has taken a backseat as far as his name being projected as the future chief prime minister. This has calmed down the nerves of, say, for example, Mamata Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal, a couple of others who view Congress as their principal foe in their respective states. And also the fact that the Congress is not willing to be the lead player in this entire scenario. So that gives a lot of scope for the regional satraps to feel important and be like feel like part of the group. So I think that is going to be there. But I think the fear of ED, the fear of CBI, then the fact that that if they lose this election, then the chances of them coming back to power after 5 years would be, a lot of political scenario will change.
Tehseen, Brigesh's inputs actually forced me to ask you this question, that how it is being envisaged as of now, although we wish all the very best, to the plans and the meetings and the future prospects though. But as far as this question of endurance, durability and sacrifice is concerned, how is this India bloc looking at it and maybe planning to tide over it?
So Brajesh is absolutely right in what he said, and his analysis are always bang on, and I really, really appreciate what he brings to the table. The India bloc today has come together because mathematically that is one way of defeating the NDA. But there is a larger issue to this, and may I just articulate that? Elections is not just about math. So math, yes, the India Alliance is quite formidable, and the recent opinion polls that are coming out are showing that the India Alliance is gaining while the NDA seems to be losing steam. But chemistry is very important, and the Prime Minister does have a certain amount of chemistry with Indian voters. I think what the India bloc will have to do henceforth, that is from tomorrow onwards, and I'm playing a little part in this, is put out a positive agenda before the citizens of India. Now, I just want your viewers to imagine two restaurants. One restaurant called NDA, one restaurant called India. The NDA restaurant, the star chef is Narendra Modi ji. The other sous chefs are Nirmala Sitharaman ji, Amit Shah ji, Jai Shankar ji, Gadkari ji. You may like or dislike the dishes they cook, the Hindutva dish of Amit Shah ji, the economy dish of Nirmala Sitharaman ji, but you know specifically what you're going to get. In the India restaurant, you don't know who's your star chef, you don't know who your sous chefs are, you don't know if it's a buffet or an a la carte, and you're at lunchtime. You're extremely hungry. The point is, the India Alliance cannot win or get in the crowd into the restaurant simply by saying the NDA restaurant is bad. They will have to put out their menu. Therefore, what I am trying to help them do, and with a lot of other people, is talk to industrialists, talk to youngsters, and have a positive agenda. Like one of the suggestions I've given the top leadership of the Congress is have a separate ministry for AI and blockchain, because this government is absolutely clueless on that. They have zero idea on quantum computing. So say we'll have a separate ministry for that. That's one of the agendas. So you come forward with a positive agenda. Once you do that, let the BJP counter that, because they've had nothing to showcase in the last 10 years, unemployment, etc. Talk about employment, because again, that's a big factor. AI is going to take off significant number of jobs, how service industry is going to take that in, and how you can settle people into the service industry. So I think these are things that the India Alliance will have to talk about. They'll have to have a positive agenda. They cannot be negative. Simply defeating Modi ji cannot be an agenda. It must be positive, and I hope that that works out.
Let's hope that. Let's go to Kiran Tare also. Kiran, Tehseen has listed quite a few wish lists other than the hunger purgating example that he gave. What is on the agenda as of now? What are you picking up standing right outside Grand Hyatt Hotel in Mumbai? And secondly, what are we expecting to, happen and percolate until tomorrow evening?
In fact, I like this analogy of restaurants and the cuisines and the hunger among the voters. But here in Mumbai, the mood is completely regional. That is what I'm getting.
Okay.
If we take Mamata Banerjee's TMC, if we take Uddhav Thackeray's Shiv Sena or Nitish Kumar's JDU, the feeling is that the regional parties, the parties in which state they are getting stronger and stronger, the Congress should be kept out. So for example, Uddhav Thackeray is demanding more seats in Maharashtra, Mamata Banerjee is demanding more seats in West Bengal, Nitish Kumar is demanding more seats in Bihar. The problem comes in when Kejriwal will demand more seats in Punjab and Delhi and Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. There the Congress mettle will be tested. Is the Congress going to negotiate with the regional forces? Is the Congress going to play a second fiddle to the regional forces? That is a problem. That is the moot question which will be discussed tomorrow. My information is that the regional parties are adamant that they should be given, they should have an upper hand in the India alliance, and the Congress should take a back seat. If Congress is willing to take that back seat, then this NDA alliance will be successful. Otherwise, it will be just another alliance. Right. And I also got some very interesting information regarding announcing the Prime Ministerial candidate. See, neither Congress nor the regional forces, they are willing to name anyone, but a senior Congress leader, he has proposed a formula wherein he is saying that Congress in the initial stage will stay put. Congress will not put its claim on the Prime Ministerial candidature. In fact, it will allow the regional forces, all the other regional forces except Congress, to name the Prime Ministerial candidate. If Mamata Banerjee or Nitish Kumar or Arvind Kejriwal or Uddhav Thackeray can finalize a candidate with a consensus, then Congress will support that person. But if the consensus is not there, then Congress will stake its own claim on the Prime Minister candidates. This is what the new formula is emerging out of this meeting. Of course, this is off record. Nothing has been official yet.
Right.
The meeting will discuss all those points tomorrow. Tomorrow is a very crucial day as far as the INDI alliance is concerned. But Prime Ministerial candidature has reached to one level where the deliberations has started, and these deliberations will take either in one direction in favor of the Congress or it will move in favor of the regional parties. But who will be the face of the Prime Minister candidate from the regional forces, whether it could be Nitish Kumar or whether it could be Mamata Banerjee, that will be very important and very interesting to watch.
Right. Kiran, interesting to note, and I think that's the takeaway, what you are telling us as of now, that discussion on the Prime Minister's name or face is something that has already started. Obviously, something that had to. एक चीज मैं आपसे जानना चाहता हूं, आज almost all the opposition parties who are part of India bloc are in Mumbai. But अडानी वाले मामले में सिर्फ कांग्रेस ने ही प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस क्यों की?
See, this is a very interesting question. सिर्फ कांग्रेस ही अदानी के बारे में क्यों बोल रही है, बाकी लोग क्यों नहीं बोल रहे हैं? See, Rahul Gandhi has opened a front against Gautam Adani and his companies since day one. So whether it was his campaign like Chaukidari Chor hai or Adani, whether it was Rafael or whether it was Adani, Rahul Gandhi has been attacking Narendra Modi since day one. But today the situation is very tricky. See, the opposition meeting is happening in Mumbai. The report against Adani Group has appeared today itself when the meeting is happening today. And Mumbai meeting, we must remember that one of the biggest hosts, one of the most prominent hosts of this meeting is Mr. Sharad Pawar. And everybody knows, in fact, Rahul Gandhi has been saying that Adani is the best friend of Narendra Modi, but the political circles and the industrial circles, even the common people in Maharashtra, they know that Mr. Adani is the best friend of not Narendra Modi, but Mr. Sharad Pawar. So by raking the issue of Gautam Adani and calling Gautam Adani, calling for a JPC to investigate the so-called wrongdoings of Gautam Adani, Narendra Modi, Rahul Gandhi has not tried to embarrass Narendra Modi, but Rahul Gandhi is indirectly trying to embarrass Sharad Pawar, because Sharad Pawar is the close friend to Gautam Adani, not Narendra Modi. It is a fact that it was Gautam Adani who had played a mediator between Sharad Pawar and Narendra Modi to form the Maharashtra government after 2019 election. Ajit Pawar has clearly said it in a public rally that meetings were held at Gautam Ambani's residence to formulate the seat sharing and to formulate the government formation. So BJP and NCP coming together was an idea. It was generated at Gautam Adani's house. We should not forget this. So it is not embarrassment to Narendra Modi, but it's indirectly and a bigger embarrassment to Sharad Pawar. So is Rahul Gandhi trying to corner Sharad Pawar in Mumbai, or Rahul Gandhi is just inaugurantly naming Narendra Modi without realizing that Sharad Pawar would be embarrassed? This is very interesting, but I don't think Rahul Gandhi is unaware of the relationship between Gautam Adani and Sharad Pawar.
See, there's one more. I will just add one line to it, because one very interesting thing is that there are several contradictions which the Congress and other partners have to manage. If you remember earlier, Rahul Gandhi was taking a regular jibe at Savarkar, but and post a very crucial meeting between Sharad Pawar and the Congress, he has completely stopped doing that. And when he was very belligerent on Adani thing, there was a picture which was released where Sharad Pawar was talking very closely, very friendly discussion with Adani, and there were a couple of times it was released. I think it was a very clear message to Rahul Gandhi as to how the equation between Sharad Pawar and Gautam Adani is concerned. But I think somebody who has picked up the cudgels and somebody who has been going after the Adani Group for such a long time. I think it was today when the FT report came in Financial Times. It was too tempting for Rahul Gandhi to resist.
Not to come out and
that papers are also publishing what he has been alleging for a while now.
Right. Thank you so much, Kiran. Thank you so much. We can see the traffic picking up, and I'm sure that the meeting also inside Grand Hyatt is picking up. Thank you so much for speaking to us. But gentlemen, please stay with us here, because let's listen in to what Rahul Gandhi had to say earlier in the day, and then the subsequent responses from the other political members.
The Financial Times, and you can see right on top, Adani Group, hidden investors and a secret paper trail. Here is another one. The Guardian. Modi linked Adani family secretly invested in own shares, documents suggest. And the third one, a wealthy Indian family with links to Modi invested in own shares. Now, these are not any random newspapers. These are newspapers that affect investment in India. They affect the perception of our country in the rest of the world. Now, there are a few questions that they are asking. These newspapers are asking. First of all, they are stating clearly that over $1 billion of money went from India, was circulated in different places, and then came back to India. This is, according to them, clearly proved with documentation that they have. Right? So the first question arises, whose money is this? ये किसका पैसा है? ये अदानी जी का पैसा है या ये किसी और का पैसा है? So that is the first question. Second question.
Right. Rahul Gandhi there obviously raising questions, and as we all saw this morning, the report claiming that Adani Group has funneled money to push the prices of the shares, of his own shares, roughly to the tune of $1 billion US. That's the claim. Mr. Kochitil, talking strictly in terms of what Rahul Gandhi says, he says, ye kiska paisa hai? Ye kahan se aaya? And then he mentions a few names also of one Chinese individual. Given the nature of BJP, they are very high on as far as the national interest is concerned, very, aggressive on having a very clean image on it. These two questions and many more that Rahul Gandhi today raised, Don't you think puts the BJP in a position where it might not be comfortable to straight away answer it, or maybe if they want to answer, then what is the best way to handle it?
I think Rahul Gandhi is embarrassing himself. I mean, that is what is happening. We just heard your reporter himself say that the target is Sharad Pawar. So he knows that in Maharashtra, to get a bigger share of the seats, Congress will need to embarrass Sharad Pawar, or even at least keep Sharad Pawar out in a weekend Sharad Pawar. That is what we have seen. See, if they have an issue with Ambani or Adani or anybody, they can go to the court, and they have done it. We saw the same case in the case of Rafale, and what happened then? We saw the whole hangama happen, and finally the entire thing went put. And what did the Supreme Court say even then to Rahul Gandhi is be careful about what you say. This gentleman has a habit of shooting off his mouth. Now the publication which publishes it, has it been validated? We as reporters, I mean, I worked in the media for now, 33 years now in media. And every time we do a story, we all know that you are also there, that we double check the sources. Is it an allegation? Is there a proof? If so, there is a proof. Who is the authority to approach? And this is the problem. Rahul Gandhi is trying to stick the corruption allegation on Narendra Modi when he pretty well knows that it doesn't stick. He doesn't talk about himself, that he is out on bail. On
Mr.
Section
Kochital,
420,
with all
this
due
is
respect,
cheating.
my question was from the BJP's point of view. Rahul Gandhi is doing what he has to do being in opposition and citing two very credible financial newspapers. Yes, you are absolutely right. The credentials must be checked. The sources must be verified. But my humble, view here is that how best BJP can actually counter it or respond to it at least. You are right, verifying the sources. But we haven't heard it from the BJP till now.
The BJP will keep silent. That's the best strategy to do. Why should you take up the wakalat of, Gautam Adani? Let him deal with this problem. If there's a corruption, if he has done something, let him face the music. Why should the BJP jump to his defense? I don't understand that. Did the government facilitate this? Is he accusing the SEBI, a constitutional body, a semi-constitutional body, quasi-judicial body of, corruption? These are serious allegations.
Yes,
What is he
but he is
accusing? There
naming
is a
Prime
Supreme
Minister
Court
also.
committee which is there. Why doesn't he put this up before the country? As simple as that.
Right. Tehseen, how do you look at it?
So the way I look at it is, I agree to one thing that Suresh said, that you're innocent until proven guilty. He said, look, what are the sources? But here are the fundamental questions when it comes to dealing with this particular corporate group. And as Joe Biden said, that when you capitalism is good, but when you have monopoly, that equals extortion. So now let's look at what the allegations are. What has been the SEBI report? What is the expert committee report? And what is this report? In a nutshell, there are three basic allegations. They said, look, there has been insider trading. Now, insider trading in our country is a criminal offense with up to 7 years in jail. 2, they said the shell companies have been used. The Supreme Court appointed committee, which was the Kamath committee, said, look, these shell companies existed. That's a report. The Mauritian finance minister said, look, these shell companies existed, but these are legal shell companies. Now, for those, I'm not getting into too much of details, but they were legal shell companies. So there's a legality in the shell companies as per them. So of course they were legal shell companies, but shell companies are loose. The Supreme Court report again says, look, it was legal at that point, it is illegal now, it is immoral. Now the question before SEBI is this: in any public listed company, minimum 25% has to be with the public. That is people like you, Suresh ji, me, etc. The allegations on the Adani Group is 1, round tripping of money. 2, that this 25% shares are not really held by the public, because none of the Indian mutual funds seem to hold it, none of the FII seem to hold it. It's actually held by the group through various Chinese or Pakistani proxies, through these shell companies. So they actually control their own company, therefore money is being round tripped and the price rise is going up, which is again, share price rigging is a criminal offense. Now, let's just forget all allegations and believe that they are innocent and proven guilty. How difficult is it for SEBI to tell us, they keep taking dates after and after, that these companies on these address, all of them registered in one apartment in Abu Dhabi, are real or false? How difficult is it for SEBI to tell us? We sent a mission to the moon. You can't tell us about 6 companies registered in Abu Dhabi. Second, this money that came into this Adani Group obviously never came in via cash. It's not like Mr. Adani flew in and got cash in. They've come in by the RBI route, via legal routes. Couldn't you tell us how this money is coming? These 6 companies, what are the directors of these companies? Now there's something very interesting about these 6 companies. All these 6 companies, their transactions have only happened in the Adani shares. So if they were actually international public companies holding, say, my company, one of my companies is listed, their shares, they don't hold it. They only hold 99.9% Adani Group shares. So that is the problem. Now, I still say Mr. Adani is innocent and proven guilty. But how difficult is it to clarify this? It's not very difficult. And the fact that SEBI postponing it leads more. One more thing, their main auditor, they don't have, for a company this big, they don't have one of the big four, the big six as their auditors. And the big auditor, when they appointed, walked out, said, look, there's a lot of not transparency. There is a problem. And it's not good for India corporate. It's not good for Indian corporate.
Understood, Tessin. Understood. Just to put it on record that, yes, Adani Group has issued clarification on it, and they have denied any wrongdoing. Earlier in the day, we also, published their whole press release that had come. Gentlemen, thank you so much. But one final question from Brijesh, obviously, who had a year-to-year smile when Sharad Pawar's name came into picture. Brijesh, three things have primarily happened today. India meeting started, and then you have Rahul Gandhi's allegation on Adani's, and the third one being the special session of the parliament. Are we going to see, if I may call it, the fireworks, which are keeping the heat on the elections in the run-up? Are we going to expect more of these unexpected things to happen?
Well, I think, one of the first things which are going to happen is that once the opposition parties have verified it, that this is exactly what is going to happen, I think they will have to expedite the entire process, by 4. They have to multiply it by 4 for the simple reason is that now there's literally not enough time to waste even one day. So I think the entire process of taking decision as to going to be who's going to be your convener, who are going to be part of the member or members of the committee which will look into various issues and things, the common slogan, how to fight election unitedly, logo, etc., etc. I think all that process will now be expedited and has to be expedited if they are serious about fighting election against BJP.
Right, and I guess being serious is the only option left with this India bloc as of now, because the names, the demands that are coming up, at least by way of posters, that are coming up, that's surprising. Mamata Banerjee's posters coming up in Kolkata. We have posters about Nitish Kumar in Mumbai. Strange, I would say, but nonetheless, politics is all about being, giving surprises at the unexpected times. Thank you so much, gentlemen and ladies, for watching this broadcast. My thanks to all our guests also, and thanks, Brijesh, as always, for sharing your insights. We'll be back with more news and updates on the other side of this short commercial break.
BrahMos, stealthy, lethal, precise. It flies at 3 times the speed of sound and cuts through a warship like a hot knife through butter. China's navy has threatened its neighbors, and they are turning to the BrahMos for protection. The warship killer. This and more streaming on world's first news OTT, News 9 Plus. Download now.
He thought he could outlast us. And 1 year later, the evidence is right here in this room.
Who will blink first?
So far from preventing the expansion of NATO, Russian actions have actually resulted in the expansion of NATO.
It's a mess for Russia and it's a mess for the Western world, for NATO and the United States.
Putin is a dictator, and if he loses, that means the end of his regime, and probably of him personally. So he has to keep going.
Year 2, no end in sight. Streaming now.
The historical moment, and it's here. Magnus Carlsen, the world champion, loses to 16-year-old Pragnananda.
The beauty of sports is the emergence of new heroes and the triumph of the underdog. Chennai teenager R. Pragnananda too finds himself in that bracket. Having made heads turn in the chess world with his achievements, The 16-year-old prodigy seems to have made a habit of vanquishing world champion Magnus Carlsen every time they square off. The Chennai boy has been able to get the better of Carlsen twice in 3 months, a feat which other higher-ranked players have not been able to achieve. Pragnananda is riding a crest, and chess may seem a renewed interest in the sport in the country. The popularity of chess in India is down to one man, Vishwanath.